Okay, first things first, y'all. Like I said, I really don't like doing voiceovers, but in this instance, I feel like it is necessary because of the look that I'm doing. I just want to focus on the eye look only, so that's what we're doing. So yeah, I'm kind of barefaced now, but as you can see, I've already done one eye, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on my left eye. I'm going to go ahead and do my brows, and I'm going to use my Morphe number 4 pencil. I think it's the Java brow pen that I like to use. I also have chocolate mousse, which is like a brown black color, but most of the time I tend to go for the dark brown pencil in any brand, and in this case I like Java for my brows, and this is what I've been on lately, so we're going to use this to get this done. And I like to start at the bottom first and draw in my line. It's almost like my guide as to where my brow is going to begin from the underside of where my hair grows. And then I tend to go in and start feathering light strokes up to mimic some brow hairs. So that's what I'm doing here. And then once it's to my liking, I just like to go from the top and start up here, and I just kind of like feather in the top, short light strokes. Like I said, my rule of thumb is the outside of my center iris. That's where my arch starts. And then I just go ahead and bring it on around. I'm going to flip this over and take the opposite side of my brow pen, which is a spoolie, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to feather in the front end of my brows. I don't always do this all the time because sometimes I just like the natural look of the hair brows that I mimic in the front, but in this case I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of feather these out because I want a little softer look towards the front of the brow, and sometimes I tend to go back and forth just lightly so that I can fade that area in. Because your brows don't grow straight up and down like this. I like to take my finger at an angle and then just kind of wipe it down and wipe it across, because that's the direction that your brow hairs grow into. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fading out that area, and then once I got a light little fade going, wherever it ends at, even when I come up in here, I fade more going towards the back here and have more of the color like heavier in this area, so it's at a slant. That way it looks like a gradation of light to dark as you're fading your brows with your spoolie. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going, you know, back and forth a little bit, and in some cases I do single strokes and I'll go back and forth to kind of blur it, and then I'll go further in and go to the top, and then I'll go further back, and then I'll probably come down towards the bottom like at an angle. You're not going straight up and down, you're going at an angle to fade. So that's what I'm doing with my brow brush right now. And then I'll go back in with the opposite side of my pen, and I'll kind of bring some heaviness back into there to where it looks a little bit more, I guess you can say, a little bit more faded, but with a light hand. I'm not really trying to go in and go real hard. But behind all of that fade, I'm kind of making it a little bit heavier. Like that. That way you can see the fade. It's like a natural gradation from light to dark. I'm going to take my angle brush and my MAC NW40 concealer, and I'm going to clean and define my brows. This is something I just recently started doing because normally I really don't care for that halo effect that you get around your brows when you're going underneath the brow. That's usually what I do to clean up my brow bone area, but to go above it, I haven't been doing that until just recently, because I like this more natural brow look is the reason why I've started defining my brows and cleaning them up with my concealer. This just makes them look a little bit sharper, especially if I haven't tweezed in a while and some hairs are growing back or whatever. But for the most part, I just like the look, the way it looks aesthetically, like it's aesthetically pleasing. And even so, I try to make sure I blend all of that out because I can't stand that harsh halo like what you're seeing now without me blending it in, really. No, I don't like seeing brows like that. They look like glow in the dark brows or some shit like that, but that's not my thing. So you're not gonna ever see me doing it. I'm gonna blend it out real good first before I walk around with halo brows or I'm looking like I'm surprised all the time. And then I just take my fingers and blend them out the rest of the way. Or you can use a beauty blender sponge to do the same thing. Either way, blend that out because it just will be too much. It'll look harsh. I'm gonna go in and use my P. Louise base. This one is in the shade number 5, which is room number 5. I have been in love with this eyeshadow base as of late. It goes on really, really nice. It gives me full coverage. It makes the colors of the eyeshadows just pop on your lids. I'm in love with this, so I have been heavy on this like lately. So I'm gonna apply this to my eyelid. I'm gonna use this to buff this out. Not even so much buff, I'm just patting it on the eye because you don't want to remove a lot of the product. You want it on kind of thick because that way your eyeshadows have something to cling to. And at the same time, when you pat the eyeshadow over this base, the color's more vibrant. So you really don't want to be, you know, doing this right here, a swiping motion. You just really want to pat the color on first, just like I'm patting on this eyeshadow base. And on top of this, the colors are so vibrant and they look really, really bomb. So that's the reason why you should pat this in so that you can get full coverage. I'm gonna go into my Juvia's Place Warrior 2 palette. Yeah, Warrior 2. And I love this palette because I'm big on earth tone colors and neutral colors. And this one is one of my personal favorites. I picked up the shade Jamata in this palette, and this is going to go into the transition area. And the trick to applying eyeshadow over this base is what I stated before. As you can see, I already put a layer on. It's just to pick up a generous amount of product on the end of the brush like this. You can tap off the excess. And you're just going to go in and just pat. Because if you go in and try to like sweep it on, it's going to skip over that thick eyeshadow base. And you're going to lose color or pigment. So you don't want to do that. You just want to pat when you first apply it and just go back and forth until you get the desired amount that you want on the eye. And then once you've deposited your color and you're satisfied with how much eyeshadow that you've placed on your lid, then you can go in and start lightly blending. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. And usually I take the edge of the brush and I go in and just start blending the edges a little bit towards the top. And we're just gonna blend that in real good. But you don't want to blend too much to where you lose color. That's not what we're trying to do here, okay? Now I'm going to pick up Kafuro, which is this shade right here in the top center of the palette. Pick up a generous amount. And we're going to go in and we're going to deepen the crease. So we're just going to go slightly below that and just start applying our color, our eyeshadow color. So you're doing a gradation from light to darkest, which is what I'm doing with this color right here. Now we're going to pick up this color right here, which is the black shade in here. It's called Shawata. And I'm just going to dab, load my brush with color. And then I'm going to go slightly below the color that I just placed in this area. and just build that up by patting it into my crease, directly into my crease. And then I'm going to take a clean blender brush. It looks dirty, but trust me, it's clean. This is my Morphe M433 brush. And I'm going to pick up, actually not even pick up, I'm just going to use this brush to kind of blend out the edges of that black shadow between that and the second color that I placed in my transition area, so I can get a nice little blend. I'm going to pick up some of the Juvia color, which is the color that I placed above that black, and I'm going to overlap that black just a little bit by kind of like tapping, just tapping in between those two colors, just so I can fade out those edges of that black and it doesn't look so harsh. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just tapping right on the edge of that black. I'm using my Revolution Cut Crease Canvas and Etch to cut my crease. And 9 times out of 10, I just use the applicator out of the bottle because this is pretty rounded off, so I don't feel the need to grab my my other MAC brush for this. I have a 242 and also have a smaller one to cut my crease with. But for the most part, I just try to get the excess off of this brush, and I can pretty much work with this. As you can see, it has a lot of product on it, so I'm just taking most of it off, and I'm just trying to get it on one side, and that way I can control the product a little bit better so that I can cut my crease. So I'm just going to start from this point right here towards the end of my tear duct and just start in there and start cutting my crease. You want to take your time with this. Do not rush this because you can easily screw this up if you don't. You also want to make sure that your cut crease is even on both sides too. So I'm always constantly checking this eye against this eye as I'm cutting my crease to make sure that they're even in height as well as width. And I'm only going to go like maybe a little over halfway across the eye to cut it. So there you have it, cut crease. I'm going to pick up this shade right here, Kana, in the lower center of the palette. This is a beautiful, like, I guess you could say it's like a taupey color. It's just really, really pretty. I like this color. And I'm going to pick up a generous amount. And I'm going to pat this all over the lid up until, I'd say like maybe a little over 1/2 of the lid, I guess you can say. I'm just patting this all over the lid. And if you want to be precise and you don't want to go over that line, I would suggest either using an angled brush like this one. This is just a generic one that I have. Or you can use the Morphe M213 shader brush. This is usually for eyeshadow application along the lower lash line. But I tend to like to use it for little tight spots. And I'm going to demonstrate to you how I use this in order to get in this area. It's small enough to where I can go in this area and just place product in this area without going over my cut crease. And it's very precise, so I love this brush for this. So this serves as a dual purpose brush for me to put shadow along my lash line and to go in and place shadow along my cut crease line. We're gonna go in with Kufuru. I think that's how you say that. I keep messing up this doggone name. Child, don't mind me. You know what I'm saying? But let's see if we can fix this real quick, because this is the color that's supposed to go over this. I hope to God I can fix this. We all have our days, honey. We all have our days. Yeah. Luckily, I was able to cover that up. Ooh, child. This is almost a mess. And I'm placing this. And just to ensure that I won't go over that line, I'm picking up my Morphe eye smudger brush again. And I'm gonna pick up more product and I'm gonna go along the top just so I don't go over that cut crease line. And we're gonna hit that right up in that area and go along that cut crease line. And while I'm at it, I might as well come in front of this and kind of pat this on so that I can get these two shadows blended out. Wipe it off. And I'm gonna pat between these two colors so that I can blend them in. And I'm gonna pick up more of this kind of go over that and blend that a little bit better. So I'm just patting between those two colors so that I can get that on there. And voila, there we have it. Success. We got it. I'm gonna go back up there towards the top and we're gonna try to go in and hit the top of that cut crease. Kind of cover that up. There we go. Okay. Okay. Got it, honey. Now I'm gonna pick up this color right here, Shawata, which is the black color in this palette. Pick up a generous amount. And we are going to hit the outside of this cut crease on the outer third of the eye and blend that into the previous color that we just placed. And I'm just patting it in, picking up some more shadow. Kind of bringing it into the cut crease so we can kind of like fade that in. like so. How pretty is that? I love these colors. And then I'm gonna clean off my brush and go back in with Kufuru, which is the middle brown shade that we placed, and we're gonna overlap that black over there on the edge so we can get a better blend. And we're just going back and forth, and we're just blending between those two shadows to get them to be a nice blend of colors. And then I'm gonna pick up my Morphe M433 brush and I'm just gonna do a slight blend into this area, just right into this area here where we place that black. I've cleaned off my Morphe smudger brush, and I'm gonna go into the palette and pick up this color right here, Zazz, which is down here at the bottom. We used it as a lid color on the lid. I'm gonna also use this as my brow highlight. I'm gonna pick up a generous amount on the end of my brush, and I'm just gonna go right below my brow area and just kind of pat this color into that area. And just lightly feather up underneath my brow bone area all the way to my inner brow, like so. But here, I want to concentrate more color into this area, so that's why I'm patting it on. Wipe off the excess and then just kind of like blend this in. I'm gonna add a little sparkle to my eyes, so I'm using Too Faced Liquid Glitter Eyeshadow in Citrus Mistress. And I'm going to put some of this on the back of my hand because this is a large doe-foot applicator right here. And I'm gonna place it on the back of my hand, just a little amount right there. This color is so pretty. Like, it's not even really so much a color, it's a beautiful citrusy orange glitter shadow that looks like that. You can see that. It's so pretty. And I'm gonna take the edge of my brush and I'm going to dip it into this shadow. And then I'm going to go along my cut crease right up underneath that black border, and I'm just going to place this glitter like right beneath it. And I'm gonna take my time with this because I don't want a whole lot along my cut crease, because I don't want it to overshadow, you know, my hard work that I've just placed doing this cut crease. So just a little shot of glitter for a little sparkle. I'm applying my Essence Super Lash liquid eyeliner in deep black. This is so gorgeous. I have been using this like crazy for like the last few YouTube videos that I've done on my channel. Ooh, excuse me. It just goes on super, super black. And I stumbled across this in Ulta. Go and pick this up because this is really, really gorgeous. It is like a dark black, inky black liquid liner. I love it so freaking much. And like I said, I've been using it a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this to my lid. I'm not really crazy about the brush applicator because it kind of fans around all over the place. But once you've learned to master control of it, it's no problem. But this is super, super gorgeous. It's just dark, dark black. But like I said, and it only costs $3.99. So go and pick this up from Ulta because this is worth it. This is my new boo. I've been using LA Colors for the longest, and it's still one of my favorites, as well as the fact that it's an affordable drugstore brand liquid liner. But this one is also affordable, and it's much more darker and pretty and more dramatic, so I'm absolutely in love with this one. They also have a waterproof. I already placed my mascara in my eyes, which is my usual. Everyone knows it's pretty much one mascara that I always use by Rimmel. So that's the Extra Lash Mascara in Black. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my lashes, and I'm obsessed with these, and I have been obsessed with these lashes for like the last 3-4 months or so. I stumbled across them on Wish from a seller called Rockin' Femme, and I think I had left the name of the seller in one of my last 2 makeup tutorials. Also provided a link to the seller on Wish where you can place your order for these lashes. They are super flexible, gorgeous, they're glamorous and dramatic without being too over the top of drag queenish, which is why I love these lashes so much. And the style that I love, that I'm always wearing, is the number 30s. Like I said, you just have to experience them for yourself. I also picked up another style too, but I love these lashes so much I have a dozen pairs of these. So we're gonna go ahead and place this, and yeah, we'll go from there. I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face off camera, and I will come right back with this look. Mwah. Once again, superstars, we've come to the conclusion of yet another beautiful look. If you like this look, rate, comment, subscribe, and just show me some love in the comment section below. I love you, superstars, and I will check in with you guys later. Peace, love, and happiness. Mwah. Bye.